What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to my Squire mini-series revisiting Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Since these series are kind of designed with a new player in 2023 in mind, each little video I kind of wanted to go over some sort of tip or trick in the game. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about your skill points or stat points allocation. Lots of people are always going to ask, what do I put points into? What's the best thing? And the answer is, there is no wrong answer. You can pull points out and apply points whenever you want at no cost. So never be afraid to experiment. If you want a little bit more range on your defenses like I like to go, then you might want to put some points into range. Say you don't care about that range as much and you want to get a little bit more power or damage on an individual defense per hit, then of course you can always go into power and you can move these skill points around wherever you see fit throughout your experience. Same thing on the hero side. Say you want to play a map super active and go in and get all the damage in yourself, well, by all means, throw them into attack, ability, or vitality, or one of the hero stats. So move all your points around as often as you would like, as, the system is there for you to use and to experiment with. Now, additionally, when you're testing things out and seeing what you can do, you want to make sure you have the correct Tavern difficulty set. As we play through the game, of course, there's going to be various difficulties, insane mode, nightmare mode, massacre mode, etc. Each one of these difficulties has an individual modifier in the game that will affect your defenses or your hero. So to correctly see your possible damage output or the effectiveness of one of your defenses, make sure you have the correct difficulty set. So we've got this big red button here. We see if I was in massacre mode at level 7 here with my current gear, I'm only going to be hitting for 1 damage or 2 damage a swing if I crit. Now, if I drop that to the correct setting, which I'm currently playing on medium mode, and then take a look, now we see we're doing considerably more damage. So always make sure you toggle your Tavern to the correct difficulty for the experience you're playing for the purpose of testing out your defenses. Now let's go ahead and hop on in where we left off and continue this new player experience. We, of course, were doing the campaign. Next up, we have the Ancient Mines. Let's hop on in and give it a shot. Now, the Ancient Mines is very iconic in the game for several reasons. First off, it's a cool-looking map. It's pretty. They did a great job on it. It's got amazing backgrounds. From the water dropping down, just the visuals are extremely impressive on this particular map. Additionally, with one core and essentially 2 main combat areas, these 2 lanes as one, and this lane as another, it makes this a go-to map for entry-level play. So as far as doing survival runs, you're going to find that survival and mixed mode runs will make up a large part of your experience in Dungeon Defenders Awakened, as that is where all the good stuff is at. This map is a great starting point for a newer player going into any new difficulty. So if you're stepping it up to the next notch, Ancient Mines is always going to be a great first stop for you for getting some survival gear or mixed mode gear in the difficulty that you are playing. Now, as we see, of course, I went into full range. Now, I'm going to take this range points at least up to 20, maybe even 25 before I start speccing into something else. Where you put your points in, of course, are going to depend on what kind of gear you get as well. As since you are going to be getting stats on your gear, you're going to want to make sure that you're balancing your points appropriately by looking at what you have in each individual stat. As you see right now, I've got 15 into range, 14 for my skill points, 5 into power, 2 into fort. So we still got a lot of work to do here on this Squire. Of course, I was looking for, militia or miner gear. I didn't get anything else here. I don't want to give up that Ethereum Champion set bonus, so I'm not going to take that, even though it is one more vitality. And I think the rest of this stuff we can just go ahead and scrap. So let's see, what do we got left? We need to get a wall down here as well. And then that's going to leave 110, which is only going to be enough for me to build one harpoon. So I think what I'll do is I'll put one harpoon over here to cover both of those lanes. And I will manually kill all of the baddies over here. So we only have 22 mobs, of course, for this first wave. So it shouldn't be too entirely difficult to deal with here. But let's see how it goes. Make sure you get your shield toss in there if you are liking playing the Squire, even if you're in melee range, because it does do a considerable amount of damage. So definitely don't want to neglect any of your attacks. Use your shield toss literally every time it's up. It does bounce between enemies as well, so it gives you a little extra something something that is bouncing around, and it gives you a ranged attack that you can throw, really, from absolutely anywhere. You see, that was a little out of range there, but we can get that range damage popping off here, and it does pretty good damage. We're actually able to kill these guys, I think, just with the ranged attack. Let's see. Just about there. Yeah, there we go. We got everything but this this archer down. Very nice. And we got two more bads over here. See if we can't get these guys down. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and start building out a little bit more. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go two. We'll put two harpoons over here. We'll maybe add in a sniper cannon as well for a little single target damage. And then let's get some more harpoons over this way as well. These I kind of want to make sure that I'm just getting multiple lane coverage out of them. As the harpoons will, you know, they've got a nice wide attack arc, so they're able to hit things in multiple lanes if they're positioned properly. Wave 2 coming out here. We've got 38 enemies on this wave. And we got our first ogre. Now, this ogre, we are going to have to put some work into. Now, he's going to be a meanie. There's no doubt. I'm going to have to watch his cleave range here. And make sure that he's not slapping me down with any sort of crazy one-shot power. As that ogre is an ogre, and he will hit like an absolute truck. So I'm going to do my best to get him into range of the defenses, and then maybe kite the ogre around a little bit, just to try to keep him there. As you see, my harpoons are putting in some nice shots here. Let's not walk him too far out of range. Making sure he's not going to just slap me down here as well. Now, I do have to watch out for the enemies behind me, of course. We're just about there. They're doing pretty good work. Now, we can also focus on just repairing and keeping our wall active. Ooh, man, I am taking some big shots here. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of healing going on. Let's get ourselves squared away here. Now let's see, how is our wall doing? Our wall did take some shots. See if I can get that ogre to turn around again. Taking some slaps. All we've got left is this ogre now. Ogres become, you know, a lot less of a menace, of course, as you get more and more power. However, they can be quite tanky when you first start playing the game. Are we there yet? We're almost there. Let's get one more shot, and there we go. So, ogre down. Very, very nice. Now we need to get it built out a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like I need to move those harpoons over just a tickle. That way I can fit 3 across there. I really want 3 of them in here. Let's see. Let's go one just straight down the middle. We'll go one like about, say, like that. And one about like this. Now, as you see, we did level up again, which means we've got some more skill points. 3 more of them this time. We want to make sure to take advantage of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put those 3 skill points in. Once again, I'm putting it right into range, trying to get as most value as possible. Now you see the points are starting to fall off a little bit, as the earlier points, of course, provide the most benefit. So after a couple more range points, I might want to start thinking about spreading things out just a touch. Additionally, let's get a couple sniper cannons in. We're going to do the same thing and have them cover multiple lanes. I've got them put back so far because I want to avoid any cleave damage from those ogres as much as possible. Now we got a militia piece there. That was something we were on the lookout for. That actually almost completes the set. We need some militia gloves now, and we're going to have a militia set put in, so that will be good stuff. We also got a sword here. Let's see. It's actually a little bit of a damage bonus. It's a spinning steel set, though. Even though it's 66 DPS versus 50.4, I would lose the set bonus. Now, the spinning steel set is incredibly powerful, but unless I have the shield to go with it, it's not going to do me a whole lot of good at this point. There is actually the militia gloves I was looking at. So now we take a look. We've got 7 points into power. If I equip these gloves, they were even, 1 point of power versus the gloves I took off. But now when we look, we have 9 points of power. Although it's just a small amount, the earlier stats, of course, give the biggest benefit. So that is going to be a nice gain, getting 2 additional power points for free just for having that matching set. Let's go ahead and let it fly here and see what we can do. Actually, we got 161 left and still 34 more to use, so we might want to do a little something else. You know what? Let's go double snipers over here. Get some more big boom boom going on. They hit quite hard. You see 2,793 physical damage. Now the downside is they attack once every 10 seconds. So they are exactly what you would think. They're slow firing long range. Now obviously we've got little to no points into attack rate right now, as we will be able to get that down so they're attacking much, much faster. Let's see, and then we've got 28, but I've got no more mana left, so let's just go ahead and let it fly for the next wave. I did pick up another rune there, which is nice. We'll have to see what we got. We have got some explosive kobolds rolling in. Those guys can always be quite devastating, no doubt. I want to keep an eye out for the ogre. It looks like we got another ogre over here this time. I want to get some upgrades. Oh, it's Juicy! We've got the lovely ogre Juicy. All of the ogres are named. Those were named by the Kickstarter backers in the game, back at the start of development here. Hopefully Juicy is taking some shots. It looks like we've got him out of range a little bit now, though, of our defenses. So let's go ahead and get let's get healed up here, and we'll get back in for a little bit more distraction here. So I'm not able to do a whole lot of damage to this guy quite yet. However, I am able to keep him busy and let my defenses put in some work. So you see the defenses got the job done there on that one. Let's come over and take a look over at this lane. It looks like everything was clear over here. And GG's, the wave is ended. Now let's see, what else do we want to do? Let's get, we've got so much DU to play with. Let's get another harpoon over here, yet another one over here. Now you see the harpoon here is kind of tucked behind this little ridge here. Now harpoons and several other defenses in the game do have an anti-clipping feature, meaning the harpoon will require line of sight to shoot at the enemy, but if it shoots at an enemy a little lip, like something like this, the harpoon bolt itself will clip through that and will still go and hit the enemy. So you don't have to worry about the harpoons slamming into stairs or little ledges or walls. they will still be able to get the job done for you as long as they can target the enemy. So targeting, of course, is the biggest portion of that. We'll just let the loot collect up here and kind of see what we get and try to start putting together some sets on some of our other heroes. As this particular Squire miniseries, of course, is just the beginning. We're going to go through all of the heroes here over the course of the next weeks or months. Let's throw an upgrade on all that stuff. Now, I got this lane pretty well jacked up now. Now, I didn't spend the DU, which I probably should have done, because, of course, we get that XP bonus. Get that kobold out of the way right from the start here. We don't need that guy mucking things up. I do want to keep an eye on the other lane, though. Let's see. We got the lovely tactical map, of course. What are your thoughts on the tactical map? Do you all prefer a mini-map, or do you like the tactical map? The tactical map, of course, is larger and gives you a better view of what's going on. But then a mini-map would be more persistent and would be up all of the time. Just going to continue the kite fest here. I want to make sure I'm staying in range of my defenses, though. As soon as I get that next ability, Blood Boil, I'm going to be able to get up in their faces a little bit more, as one of the aspects of it is some survivability, which is quite nice. Alright, the Ogre is down. It is GG, and we'll at least try to get our DU maxed out for the final wave here. We've got 18 defense units left. So I do want to make sure that I'm using them. We've got a nice little loadout going over here already. But I definitely could do more over here, especially considering we're getting an Ogre here just about every wave. In fact, we can just build kind of on the fly as we're going. Let's go ahead and go with another Harpoon. And let's get another one over on this side as well. That's going to give us a tremendous amount of power right there. I feel like we're going to be in pretty good shape there. Now, I've got 8 DU left. What do I want to do with the 8? Well, it's 6 DU for a sniper cannon. It's 5 DU for a harpoon tower. So I'm going to have to get a little creative to use all of the available defense units. Maybe throw some additional walls in or something like that. Let's see. So what do we have? If we threw one more sniper cannon in the back over here, it's going to leave 2 DU left. I could double wall it and go with just another wall in front of that one. That's going to buy me an awful lot of security over on this side. Now, these spike blockades are close enough where any melee enemies that get to them are definitely going to hit both with one swing. But we do have 2 layers of cushion there, and it allowed us to use all of the available DU. Go ahead and slap a few more upgrades around. Get those snipers upgraded. Let's get that wall upgraded. Let's grab all this stuff. This is the final wave here, so we want to make sure we're good and stout for this one. Let's upgrade the 2 back walls there. And looks like that is about it. This won't be enough mana to do anything with. And let's let it fly here. So what are we going to get this time? Let's see. We've got 1 Ogre over there. Are we going to have more than 1 Ogre? It looks like we've just got 1 right now. Making their way out. I did get a message, someone asking about the enemy movement speed. Of course, DD1 players are used to enemies just flying down lanes. DD2 players are used to the slower moving enemies. The enemies scale with difficulty, the enemy speed, pardon me. So as you play through the game, the enemies are going to be moving faster. You get into massacre mode, and the enemies will just be screaming down lanes in comparison to what they are right now. It looks like I've got enough power here just to wreck this Ogre now with my defenses. So I think we are in good shape. Yeah, Ogre down. Doesn't look like we have another Ogre, so I think we're going to be able to coast on through for the victory on this one. Famous last words with 100 enemies left. And get healed up. And see what we got coming. Okay, we do have another ogre coming out. It's coming from that same lane. You know what? Let's actually test our defense strength. Now, there's basically, particularly early game, you got two main strategies. You don't have a whole lot of power yet as an individual hero because you just started the game and you don't really have any gear. So you can kite the ogres or the thicker mobs around like I've been doing, or you can keep your walls alive. Now, we're going to have to see, I am pretty close, these harpoons are pretty close to the wall. But let's see what we can do. You see the harpoons, a couple of the harpoons are taking damage, but that ogre is just getting shredded, so we're able to repair through the damage with no problem. And, you know, depending on how you like to play the game, if you want to focus more on your defenses and the tower defense element, or if you want to be more active and run around and do things yourself, both of those options are quite viable and available to you. So that will do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue through the rest of Act 1 on the Squire with the new player experience. And then we're going to switch it up and we're going to do, say, the Huntress or the Apprentice for Act 2. But that will do it for now. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.